Yay, Daddy, tell me about the 90s. Tell me about Dumb&Dumber. Alright, cool. So the movie begins, right? And we meet Lloyd, and he's talking to a lady, and she tells him she's from Austria, and he says,
"G'day, mate."
And then we meet Harry, and he owns a sheepdog car. So one day, Lloyd stops to pick up a passenger. And her name is Mary Swanson, and Lloyd immediately falls in love and realizes that he needs to impress her. So on the way to the airport, Lloyd thinks Mary is distressed, so he tries to comfort her with some words of wisdom about the safety of flying. So Lloyd drops Mary off at the airport and asks for a hug, and then he tells her to go. As Lloyd drives off, he bids a final farewell to Mary. And that's when he realizes Mary left her bag unattended at the airport, because this was the 90s. But just before the bad guys can get it, he runs through the boarding gate.
Okay, I'm a limo driver.
And into the jetway to catch the plane. So Harry and Lloyd both get home, but the bad guys are following them, so they run away while the bad guys break in and make the bird. Lloyd and Harry return home, and Lloyd goes to the store where he gets robbed by a little old lady in a wheelchair, and now they're both depressed because nothing's working out for them. And they decide to deal with their problem by going on a road trip to Aspen to deliver Mary's briefcase. How long will the trip take, Daddy? 32 hours. The journey begins.
Feels like you're running at an incredible rate, Harry.
And Lloyd explains he made extra money by selling their dead bird to a blind kid. What? So they stop for a meal, and Harry throws a salt shaker over his shoulder for good luck, but it hits sea bass, and now he's mad. He spits into Harry's burger and goes away with it because he's disgusting. Daddy, ew! So Lloyd manages to trick the restaurant and they run away. Later down the road, Lloyd pees into empty beer bottles, and a cop catches up to them and tells them,
Pull over.
And Harry says,
No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
The cop pulls them over, and he takes a sip of the extremely fresh homebrewed beer. That's disgusting, Daddy. Indeed. So we go to Aspen, where we find out Mary's briefcase was ransom money for her kidnapped husband, but they don't know who took it. So on the drive, Lloyd fantasizes about things like the joy on Mary's face when he finally gives her briefcase, as well as farting in front of her family and ripping the chef's heart out of his chest. Wow, the 90s were crazy, Daddy. So the next day, Joe pretends his car broke down to stop the guys, and they offer him a lift and immediately start doing a bunch of crazy stuff that drives him crazy.
Guys, enough.
What else do they do, Daddy? Lloyd makes the most annoying sound in the world. So because he doesn't appreciate that, they start singing Mockingbird, and they pick up more people on the way, and they all start singing together. It was so beautiful. After the long drive, they stop at a restaurant to eat some red hot chili peppers. But when Joe goes outside to make a call to his boss to tell him he's gonna give them rat poison, they stuff chili peppers into his burger. Uh-oh. So Joe eats it and nearly dies.
Don't worry, I know CPR.
And he asks for his pills, but they give him the rat poison, and Joe lays there dead. Oh my God! Later that evening, Harry is pouring fuel while charming a beautiful lady. Inside, Lloyd is taking a splash when he notices a sign on the wall. What does it say, Daddy? The sign guarantees immediate coitus whether he wants it or not. So, right on time, Seabass breaks the door open to aggressively fornicate with anything that has legs. Outside, Harry is laying the charm on thick. He's on fire! But this scares the lady and she drives off. How will Lloyd get out of this situation? Easy. Harry bursts through the door and knocks Seabass out cold. Yay! Lloyd takes over driving duty, but they run out of fuel because he drove 500 miles in the wrong direction. And now Harry is real mad because they've run out of money in the middle of nowhere, and so he leaves Lloyd. Daddy, I feel like Lloyd is holding Harry back in life. Astute observation, my child. So while he's hitchhiking, Lloyd catches up to him on one of the mightiest bikes known to man, which he got after he traded the sheepdog van. So they ride and they ride until they make it to the Rocky Mountains, where Harry uses his bodily fluids to keep Lloyd warm before they finally arrive in Aspen, but it's really cold. How cold, Daddy? It can't be that cold, Daddy. So now they're in Aspen. All they need to do is deliver the briefcase to Mary, but there's a problem. For you see, Lloyd has no idea where she lives or what her last name is or her phone number or anything. I'd be so angry. So that evening they're standing around a fire. Harry's hands are freezing, so Lloyd offers Harry his extra pair of gloves. What? Harry finally loses it with Lloyd and they get into a huge fight. But guess what they discover? What, Daddy? The bag was full of money. please. So they decide to use some of the money responsibly. How? They book a humble hotel room in the presidential suite where the Queen of England used to sleep before she took a dirt nap. And they need to get around, so they rent a basic affordable Lamborghini and they bought maybe 1 or 2 extra things for themselves while making sure that everybody gets a tip. They're so generous, Daddy. Indeed. Later that evening, they open up the paper and discover there's going to be a fundraiser and Mary's going to be there. So they spend the entire day grooming themselves and trying on different outfits for the big event. The evening rolls around and Harry and Lloyd arrive in their finest attire. The Aspen Preservation Society is filled with the finest, most dignified members of society. And the doorman tells them it's $500 at dinner plates and they're like,
No problem. Here, put us down for 4. In case we want seconds.
The Aspen Society for Snow Owls unveils their rarest owl when Lloyd finally sees Mary, but he's afraid to say hi. So he tells Harry to approach her for him.
Nice set of hooters you got there.
And they're joined by Mary's stepmother who invites him skiing. Lloyd is so excited he opens up a bottle of champagne. And they kill the owl and they leave. Daddy, this movie is crazy. So Harry tells Lloyd that Mary promised she'll meet him at the bar at 10, knowing that's not going to happen because he wants to spend time with Mary. So he's setting Lloyd up. Indeed. While on their date, Mary helps Harry get his tongue unstuck and they build a snowman and Harry commits attempted murder with the snowball before he takes her home and they plan to meet later. Lloyd saw them and he's completely heartbroken that he lost the girl that he was too afraid to approach. Later on, Harry lies to Lloyd, so Lloyd spikes his drink with poopy medicine. Ew! Harry gets to Mary's house and it was so embarrassing, but oh no, the toilet is broken. Uh-oh! Lloyd rocks up at Mary's house and tells her that he has her briefcase. That's creepy, Daddy. Indeed. Harry dumps his dump outside the window, but it's too late. Mary has already left with Lloyd to get a briefcase back and she kisses him. But oh no. What, Daddy? The new bad guys are back. Oh no. Lloyd is so excited. He feels like a schoolboy again and he wants to make the love to her. So he plucks up the courage to say,
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
what? So he asks her what are the chances of them getting together and she says they 1 in a million and he says,
So you're telling me there's a chance?
You see, my child, you must always have belief. So Nicholas comes to the door with news about Mary's kidnapped husband and this leaves Lloyd in shock.
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
And Nicholas points a gun at them. Oh no! Nicholas tells them to open the bag, but there's no money left. Did they spend it all? Every last cent. Lloyd walks in and finds them tied to the bed and he's forced to join them. Lloyd and Harry are mad at each other because of all the backstabbing. Bang bang, they shoot Harry. Oh no! Just before Nicholas shoots Lloyd, bang bang, Harry comes to the rescue and shoots the wall. Bang, in come the police and it's over for Nicholas. He's under arrest and it turns out the FBI enlisted Harry's help. Daddy, doesn't that mean he only got like 5 minutes of training? Outstanding question, my child. But no worries, they gave him a bulletproof vest. But what if they shot him in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
So all the bad people get arrested and Mary's husband is released and Lloyd kills him. What? I'm joking. So Harry and Lloyd are broke again and a bus full of lady women passes by and offers them a lift and Harry says,
You are in luck. There's a town about 3 miles that way. I'm sure you'll find a couple guys there.
Lloyd is mad at Harry and he runs off to the bus.
The town is back that way.
How can 2 people be so stupid? The end.